Okay, so because I got some questions on how to solve excess limiting questions, and some don't quite understand how to find excess, how to find limiting, I'm just going to shoot a short video and I hope this helps. All right, okay, so now let's assume now, you know me, right? I like to start with analogies and examples. So let's assume now, all right, you are asked to bake a cake. All right, okay? Where's my, give me a sec. Okay, let me just delete this. So let's assume now you want to bake a cake. All right, okay, I know it's very, very wordy, just bear with me for a short while. You want to bake a cake, and the recipe for baking a cake is as follows. 100 grams of butter, 150 grams of sugar gets you one cake. So this is like the recipe, all right? You're going to get a super delicious cake. 100 grams of butter, 150 grams of sugar. Okay, and you go to a supermarket, cold storage, NTUC, whatever, all right? You go to a supermarket and they only sell butter in 250 gram packets. They only sell sugar in 450 gram packets. So the block of butter is 250 grams. The packet of sugar is 400 grams. All right, that's all you can buy. You can't buy 100 grams. You can't go there and cut it in half. You can't. So you buy the whole block, which is 250 grams, and then you buy the whole packet, which is 400 grams. Okay? And then you come back home. And then you think to yourself, okay, based on this, how many cakes can I bake? All right, so very quickly, once again, because your recipe is 100 grams butter, 150 grams sugar, all right, if you have 250 grams of butter, if you're going to use up all your 250 grams of butter, let me just put the if on top here, it looks a bit nicer, all right, 100 grams to 150 grams, all right, you're going to multiply that by 1.5, right? 1.5. We need something like 300 and 250 and 1.5. We need 375 grams of sugar. Again, according to the recipe, all right, 100 grams of butter requires 150 grams of sugar. 200 grams of butter requires 300 grams of sugar. All right, so that's the recipe, right? So if you're going to use up all your 250 grams of butter, we need 375 grams of sugar. Another way you can express it is to do like something like a mole ratio. Your butter is to sugar, all right, is 100 is to 150 or 1 is to 1.5. So for every 1 unit of butter, for every 1 gram of butter, you need 1.5 grams of sugar. If you have 250 grams of butter, we need 375 grams of sugar. So notice, until now, I've not looked at this 400 yet. I've simply ignored the number. To find excess limiting, right, you just use one number and ignore the other given number first. All right, okay? So to use up all your 250, I need 375. Now you look at how much you have. You have 400. The packet came with 400 grams of sugar. Give me a sec, hold on. Okay, so now because you have 400 grams of sugar, all right, okay, and we only need 375 grams here, so we need 375 grams, but you went to buy 400 grams, it came as a packet, you can't cut it in NTUC and throw away, all right, you're going to have 25 grams of sugar left over, all right, so what is used up first? Your butter is used up first, and your sugar, you're left with 25 grams of sugar. Now, of course, when you do chemistry, they will not usually ask you to find out how much excess is left over. They will just ask you to identify what is limiting, what is used up first, and what is left over, what is excess. In this case, is our sugar. So I hope you're clear on this example. If you're not very clear, again, you can pause the video, you can rewatch it. But the idea, again, is to, number one, just choose one of the numbers. I usually just choose a number that's in front. Okay? Ignore the other number. So in this case, we're going to ignore your sugar first. All right? And go ahead and do your ratio first. So to use up all my 250 grams, I need 375 grams. Now that you know how much is needed, look at how much you have, how much you're given. I have 400. I need 375. I have 400. I have excess sugar. So if you understand this, all right, I hope, all right, I'm going to move on to something which you're more familiar with, which is chemical formula. Okay? So in this equation here, we are told that calcium carbonate reacts with hydrochloric acid to form calcium chloride, carbon dioxide, and water. And typically, calcium carbonate, because it's a solid, they'll give us mass in grams. Hydrochloric acid is a solution. They usually give us something like that. All right, so 1 dm cube, 0.5 mole per dm cube. and then this one is your calcium carbonate. So this is what you're given again. This is what you are given. Now, if the question is going to say find the volume of carbon dioxide, before we can find the carbon dioxide, you need to know what is used up first. Correct? So coming back to the cake example, right? All right. Okay. Before you can figure out how many cakes you can bake, you got to figure out what is used up first. You can't just say, oh, 150 grams of sugar, right? Okay. Hold on, I have 400 grams. So based on 400 grams of sugar, 400 over 150, I can bake 2 2/3 of a cake. Sorry, 2 2/3. But based on your butter, all right, you can only bake 2.5 cakes, correct? So obviously your butter is limiting because if you were to use up all your sugar, you can bake 2 2/3 cake. So 2.6 cakes, 2.67 cakes. If you're talking about butter, all right, I can only bake 2.5 cakes. So obviously butter is what you call limiting, right? Because I will have run out of butter before I run out of sugar. So same thing here, right? For excess limiting questions, what you want to do, all right, first of all, you say, okay, I'm given 100 grams of calcium carbonate. Step 1, always find moles. And mole is mass over MR. All right, or change that. Step 1, always find moles, right? So for calcium carbonate, number of moles of calcium carbonate is your mass in grams over your MR, which is coincidentally 100, you get 1 mole. Your number of mole of hydrochloric acid is concentration times volume, you get 0.5 mole. So this is what you are given. Okay, this is what you're given, all right, okay. Now let's again, so that we can all see, I'm just going to do on the right side here. Sorry about that, it's a very messy line. All right, here. Now, your calcium carbonate to hydrochloric acid is 1:2. What this means is that for 1 mole of calcium carbonate, I need 2 moles of hydrochloric acid. Again, I have 1 mole, right? The mole ratio is 1:2. We get this from the balanced chemical equation, the coefficients, all right? To use up all my 1 mole of calcium carbonate, I need 2 moles of hydrochloric acid. This is what I need. But I only am given half a mole. I'm not given enough. And therefore, I not enough hydrochloric acid. Which means what? Hydrochloric acid is limiting. All right, okay? And so your product always depends on what is limiting, what is used up first. And so we will ignore your calcium carbonate. Because why? I can give you 100 grams, 200 grams, 1,000 grams. It doesn't matter because it's excess. It will not affect carbon dioxide. Your carbon dioxide will always be depending on limiting. Again, back to the cake example, right? The number of cakes you can bake depends on which ingredient is used up first, which in this case is the butter. Once I run out of butter, I'm done. I don't care how much sugar I'm given. It could be 400 grams, 500 grams, 1,000 grams. It doesn't matter because why? Butter is limiting. So always look at the limiting to figure out how much product you can get. So in this case, to find the volume of carbon dioxide, I'm going to use my limiting, which is hydrochloric acid to carbon dioxide. 2:1, right? The actual number of moles of carbon dioxide I have is 0.5, and so I'm going to get 0.25. I know I'm talking to the phone, but it's just a calculator. So in terms of volume, you take mole times 24 dm cubed, you get 6 dm cubed, and that's your answer. So again, for excess limiting, all right, for those of you who are confused, always find moles of both first, number 1. Look at your mole ratio, choose one number, ignore the other, figure out how much you need. Once you know how much of the other reactant you need, look at what is given and compare. If you need more than given, means you don't have enough, it is limiting. If you need less than given, means you're given a lot, you need only a little bit, it is excess. All right, okay, so I hope this helps you identify excess and limiting.